And we live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the GhettoRig podcast. For those who don't know, my name is Eddie. It's my co-host Jay, and behind the cameras we got Miguel.
What's going on?
We got some stuff ready for you guys, and it looks like Jay posted some articles for us to take a look at. Pull up whatever you would like first, Miggy.
Start with watches, man.
So you want to start with watches? If you want to start with watches, I say go to the other one that I posted. It's an Instagram reel. You didn't pull it up. Go down. Yeah, that one. So I want you to play like first couple of seconds of this. You don't have to have the sound. Play a couple of seconds of this, and I want you guys to guess what it is before he opens. Like when he's gonna open the top of the box, I want you to guess what it is and how much is it. Well,
I can
it
see
already
it
says how much it costs. Yeah.
Here, but there you go.
All right, pause it.
I don't know.
What do you think that could be?
I have no idea.
Do you want me to just read the caption? I could just tell you what it is right there.
Go ahead.
The Le Pai 1839 Time Flies Mechanical Airplane.
All right, play it. Nothing that you would expect. It's so cool. Like shit like this. I really like shit like this. You know what I mean? Look at that shit, bro. It's a table clock, but in the form of a plane. How cool is
You
that?
haven't seen the Tiffany the Tiffany and Co. Car one.
Yeah, they have a lot of them. You know who makes also a lot of these is MB&F. If you pull up some of the MB&F, like that N sign, like the backwards S, yeah, and then go onto MB&F as like yeah, right there. And I think it's like Mechanical Marvels or something like that. Not the watches, but the Mechanical Marvels, right? Um so
You got these. You want like actual machines?
yeah,
There
the
you go.
machine. See Co-Creations by MB&F. Yeah, click on that. Look at this shit, bro. Like they got these cool things. Like I feel like this is such a dude thing. You know what I mean? Like you would have this shit on your desk, like chilling. You know what I mean? Like
That's a
even that little
T-Rex?
frog-looking
Too
thing. You know?
expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive as shit.
How much are they?
I don't know, bro.
MB&F runs in the hundreds.
For
Usually.
the watches, it does. Yes, for the watches, it does. Now I'm not sure for these mechanical ones how much they go. It's a what's called a uh boutique watchmaker that makes like high horology watches, right? Like like crazy engineering goes into these, right? And like each one represents something. Like as you saw, the other one before was like a dinosaur. This one is probably gonna be some sort of a bug or a spider.
They're pretty cool design. I will give them that.
That first one is freaking sick.
Yeah, the
This
first one is
it's
legit.
definitely a luxurious item.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like think about it. If you're like an executive and you need a watch on your table just as a statement
flex.
piece, yeah?
As a flex.
As a statement piece, why not get one of these? You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
would. It's almost like getting a really nice Mont Blanc pen. That's just
That's
flex.
exactly what it is. You're absolutely correct. It's like getting a very, very nice Mont Blanc plane.
Oh, you need me to
pen.
sign that paper? Hold on. Let me take out my $5,000 pen.
Yeah. You know who has badass Mont Blanc pens is Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank.
From the Shark Tank, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a big collection of watches, but also pens. And there was this episode, him with that British guy. He used to be a singer. They're like comparing watches, and then he's like, you know what?
John. When he with John Mayer.
Was it John Mayer? No, the older guy.
Oh
No, not John Mayer. It was the older guy. I've sent you a couple of his videos. I think he used to be Rolling Stones. I think he used to be Rolling Stones.
I mean,
Kevin O'Leary.
Do Kevin O'Leary pens. Mont Blanc pens, just like that, and then go to videos, and then that guy, the very first picture. See that guy right there? What's his name?
Oh, on the right. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen him. He does a lot of like high-end luxury,
stuff. Yeah.
reviews of watches and looking at people's collections. He has like multiple videos with Jacob Arabo, which is for those who don't know, the guy who does Jacob and Co.
Yeah, and they were going. He's like Kevin O'Leary goes like, I know you came here to show our watches. I brought one or two watches, but what I brought with me is my pens. And he goes to this collection of like pens that are in like hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro. Like the craziest shit ever, right? So the point is that video right there. See the video where it says luxury pen collection, 40,000 euro luxury pen collection. Like it just shows you like even a simple thing like a fucking pen has a market for like luxury items. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard of pens, I
that's a
didn't
very
understand
easy,
it.
and sorry to cut you
You're
off,
good.
but before that thought goes, that's a very easy pen to sell. You know how they tell you, sell me this pen.
Yeah.
I can sell you that pen. This
Yeah.
shit's made with high engineered carbon materials, and everybody wants one. It's a one of a kind art piece.
Yeah, and it's not just carbon, bro. Like some of them have diamonds, gold in them, like just crazy shit like you can possibly imagine, like becomes a jewelry piece. And you imagine that shit carrying that in a pocket and he falls down on the ground and then just like stones fall out of it. And you
It
can't
just-
find
the
this
tip,
like
the tip chips on you.
yeah, like a 5 grand ruby that just like falls out and you can't find it. Like 5 carat ruby, not grand, like 5 carat ruby. I don't know.
Still
man.
a lot of money.
See, my version of this, it's funny. I'm like kind of in my brain sitting here roasting pens, like thinking about how much I would never spend this amount of money on pens and this and that. But then I thought about it, I was like, what's my version of a pen? And not even watches, keyboards.
Yeah.
Keyboards. Like I've spent decent money on my keyboard and time too, like putting it together and the research and stuff. So I guess that's my version of that, right?
Yeah, it's all
In a way,
relative,
yeah.
you know. Bottom line, it's all relative,
That's
you
your
know.
flex. You come if somebody knows about pens, they're gonna admire the pen. If somebody knows about keyboards, they're gonna admire it's a nice keyboard.
So Arthur asked, "What's the price?" I think he's talking about the
talk-
plane. It's $35,000. The pen, the
The
plane,
plane?
the plane is $35,000. So I thought it's pretty cool, you know, like this kind of shit. Like I would like to have something like this on my desk. You know, it's just like a flex. It's a flex, but it's not just a flex. It's a flex that you actually like. You know what I mean?
I don't know. See, I would. I don't know. I feel like there's a couple watches I've seen that are kind of like reversal styled
Yeah.
that are made for you to like kind of prop up and put on the desk and it kind of sits
Yeah,
up
yeah.
the dial. I would see myself going for like one of those vintage Cartiers or reversals or putting one of these on my desk.
Yeah.
If your
That's
watch
just me, though.
could talk, what do you think it would tell us?
If the watch could talk,
If a watch
Stop
could
smashing
talk.
me around so much. Because all day at work, I wear a watch to work. Either whether it's like my grandpa's old Victorinox or the like a Casio or something. Like I'm banging it on the baskets constantly and scratching it on boxes.
so if my watch could talk, my watch I don't care as much if it could talk, but I wish my grandpa's watches could talk and they told me the stories and like things that happened to him while he had them
That'd
on
be
him.
fucking cool.
Oh yeah, I wish
If
my
there was a
grandpa's
way
watch.
to kind of like scan the watch and give you memories of the past.
Yeah, so there you go. So my grandpa's watch, I've showed on the pod, the lugs on the top side were broken off completely. And so they like glued the spring bar back on to basically make the watch usable again. And it's pretty fucked up and it's very apparent that the job was done with almost no care, right? But I tried asking him the other day, like, oh, do you remember what happened that it broke? And he just said no. So I'm like, I would like to hear what happened.
That's why
with that
like I'm
watch.
thinking, you know, if and when I have ever kids and they're grown enough, like they're around 16, 17, 18, I would gift them one of my watches that I wear all the time, and throughout the years I would tell them stories that happen along with this watch. So
Yeah.
when they do wear the watch, they have the story and the backgrounds and like what the things that you know, and create their own stories, you know.
See, but I don't know if even now that I wear watches. I mean, I've always worn watches, but care for watches more than I did before. I can't like tell you like when this happened, I was wearing this watch. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you that.
No, so think about it this way: you go on like a crazy trip, like a safari, and like we're going to Vegas right now. I'm gonna take this watch with me.
Yeah.
If there's crazy fun things happen, now that's gonna stay as a memory with
See,
the
but do you
watch.
think you're gonna link it with the watch?
Yeah,
I
of
don't
course.
know. See, I don't know if my brain worked like that.
Because
We'll
it's
see, I
it's all
guess.
visual, right? Like your memories are visual. They get triggered by the things that you see and that are dear and near to
Yeah.
you. So if you see the watch, you're like, oh shit, I remember.
No, I definitely understand it, but I never looked at it that way in my brain, like anecdotally, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
If you guys could create your own watch, what feature would you include?
Oh shit, this is actually a good one. This is a very good question. See, my watch. If I were to make a watch, it would. I could tell you three things for sure: square, thin, integrated bracelet.
Square, thin, integrated bracelet.
That would probably be the three things I could definitely tell you. Very very thin, probably be square. Yeah. I don't know anything else I could tell you.
Any particular movement?
Probably is gonna stick with Piaget because he's talking about thin, and they're known for making thin watches.
Yeah.
Bring up Octa Finissimo.
They have a very thin version of that.
Octa
It's almost
Finissimo.
as thin as that fucking RM watch.
Quarter, yeah. Mm-hmm. Octa Finissimo. Yeah.
So this watch was designed by the Gel Genta.
Yes, and it's designed for Bulgari, right?
Yeah.
And I've put this watch on my hand.
Really?
Yeah, I've worn this on my hand at Mayors actually.
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly big for what it looks like. Like it takes a lot of real estate on your wrist. It's
Yeah.
very flat, but it takes a lot of real estate. And those lugs, bro, when I saw them, they're hella thick. Like I think they're close to like 30.
Mm-hmm.
They're very thick lugs. I kind of like it. The only thing I don't like is the name.
I'm not against it. I think they use a decent movement in it from what I remember doing some
Yeah,
research on.
it's a pretty decent movement. Yeah.
And you can. It's like a super thin watch. It's got the heritage of it
Gerald
behind
Genta,
it,
yeah.
with being designed by Gerald Genta himself. They've got some really cool versions of it, like the one we were talking about. That's like as thin as a quarter.
Mhm.
It's got like a skeletonized movement. With the micro rotor. They make some badass versions of this watch.
Go down. Let's see what's the thickness of this one.
says it's
It'll tell you. You can see it's pretty thin. Well, that's the size,
40.
right?
Hit read more. 5 millimeters.
5 millimeter, dude.
So
That's
that's
small.
that's
That's tiny.
half
That's third of my
PRX.
watch,
That's
bro.
half of my PRX.
Yeah, that's how skinny. I mean, at $15,000. I think I would buy this watch.
But this is
if,
the titanium version. I think
Mhm.
they have a steel one that is
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 that
not
still
as
on?
expensive.
Go back,
probably.
Miggy. Let's see what the prices are. Yeah, they're right
There's a
around the.
titanium, and then there's a silver,
Yeah,
and then you got a steel.
yeah, but I
I
don't
think the
like
steel one would
that
definitely be the.
specifically.
It looks like an older one.
Mm-hmm. That's the older one. Go. You were on the right website. You were on the right
We were
website.
directly on Bulgaria's
Yeah.
website, so
Yeah, if you
look
go
at
to
that though. That's
watches,
pretty
click
fucking
on
cool.
watches. Yeah, and then go to Octa Finissimo by itself.
Looks like it doesn't give
Go
you.
down. It says by collection, Octa. There you go.
Oh yeah, you can see it there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, their
Yeah.
website takes a second to load.
Mm-hmm.
So that brown one actually looks pretty cool. The blue one I like a lot. See that blue one right there?
This one?
Yeah, I like that a lot actually.
That was kind of clean, actually.
Mm-hmm. So that's the reddish brown one. It's pretty good too. But click on that blue one. Let's see what they're saying about that.
Yeah, so that's
grand.
a steel
yeah,
one for
that's the
13
steel one.
grand. There you
Yeah,
go.
now see, I would buy this if this was around $5,000.
But this is also a special version, Jay.
Yeah.
Platinum micro rotor. Yeah, this has also got some special stuff to it.
Mm.
So
Extra thin.
you could probably get it for around 10 grand. But this is the thing, though.
All we need is another recession. Then you can get them for like 65.
That's the question. You could probably get them for cheaper than that in this second hand. I don't know. I really like the watch. I would like to put it on my hand and see how it looked because I'm a fan of smaller watches. So I think this might be if
It doesn't wear as small. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it looks like we have a trip to Mares in our future, huh?
Yeah. Why are we going to Mares?
I mean, we can try to see if we can do it in Vegas.
Oh, see, I mean, but wouldn't you like to go to like one of the boutiques that like? Cause we've already been to Mares.
Obviously.
So let's try and do something different, you know.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I want to definitely go look at stuff and see like, especially like old.
Do you know where
old
Vacherons and
vintage.
Pateks are?
I know Vacheron is on the strip.
On a strip?
Yeah.
Well, shit, then that's where we're going.
Yeah.
We can make a day just for us.
What's that first original article you brought up about watches? It was something about mistakes.
Yeah,
make?
10 mistakes that you make when you start buying watches.
Okay.
To us, beginner watch collector. So go down. Let's see what they're talking about. Mistake number 1: thinking it is all about buying watches.
No, I think it's about learning, understanding like all the different niches in the watch world because there's all different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Buying cheaply. Mistake number 2.
What does that mean? What is it?
When you decide that you do not want to buy after all, don't fall for the second mistake, buying cheaply. It's quite tempting to score the internet for bargains, and you will find bargains. The problem is that bargain hunting for watches is a game for very well-informed aficionados. Finding a dirt cheap watch from a well-known brand is a guaranteed way to get burned. I'm not saying that great deals aren't out there. Our very own Nacho has a remarkable knack for fishing up amazing watches from secondhand fashion websites at ridiculously good prices. But it takes a trained eye, and even then still involves a lot of risk. When you take your first steps and don't want to get burned, stick with the reliable sources and offers that don't seem too good to be true.
That's the reason why this Wen watch I've been like just eyeing it. That's when the Chinese watch,
Yeah.
because a good question is, will there be there for another 5 years? You know what I mean? Are they going
I
to
heard they will. So I was listening to Roman Sharp.
Yeah, Roman Sharp, and was asking this young kid, right?
Yeah. The young kid brought him the watch. I mean, it was clearly an advertisement for
Yeah.
I'll tell you when. But I was watching that and I like what he had to say in the sense where like, he literally asked the kid, are they going to be here in 10 years?
Mhm.
You know, which is a good question. I don't know. See,
That's the thing.
the watches, I really like them. I really, really do. But are they worth the $3,000 to $4,000 that they're charging?
Mhm.
That's the question. That's the real question. And is that gonna last? You know, feeling the need to graduate / upmarket. See, this is a mistake that Jay as a collector does. I don't feel this way. Jay says you should always be stepping up. I think that if you find a Casio you really like and you have a Tudor or a Rolex and you really want to buy the Casio, you buy the Casio or the Seiko whatever you're looking at.
Well, what is this talking about?
So here's one. Here's one that we all probably fell for at some point. We start our serious watches journey with something accessible. In my case, I was like Seiko, SKX. After that, we feel we have to graduate to progressively more expensive segments. You may get an Oris next, then a Rolex, then a Patek. This is fine. In a way, it's a clever path to take. Your taste is very likely to change quite radically in the first few years of being into watches. Consequently, you are quite likely to buy and sell some watches before landing on the ones that truly suit your unique, now developed taste. Starting slowly and making your way up can be the safe way to do it. The potential mistake is to think you have to move up market. A Blancpain owner is no way a better watch enthusiast than a Seiko owner. Find the niches you enjoy and don't let anyone tell you to get something nicer.
Well, I understand that, but my thing is this: if you want to buy a watch, you should buy the best watch you can afford at the time that you're buying the specific watch, right? But my also thing is, if you already have watches that are within the same market, right, like
See,
within the same price point and within the same niche market, right, you might want to go up. Since you're starting to learn about watches, you
but
might want to go up and get the
see
next
that
thing.
contradicts being an enthusiast though.
Yeah, but
Because this is the whole thing, ready? Let's say you always build up with watches. What are you gonna do? Only buy Jacob and Co's at one point? No. So listen
no.
to this though, and then you say the phrase that you're saying: buy the best watch you can afford. Buy the best watch that you can afford that you absolutely like.
Well, see, for
See,
me,
like this is what I think, right? So we were talking to Ozzy the other day, right? And we are showing him all these different watches. Boom, 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 and then what was it? He came and showed me. I think it was a can't remember.
the tag or the Belova, which one?
I can't remember. It was a big chronograph.
Mm-hmm.
Big chronograph. And it was half the price of what we were showing him, I think. And he's like, "Yeah, I really like this one." I'm like, "Bro, if that's the one you like, then that's the one you like."
So,
You don't necessarily have to max out your budget every time you go to buy a watch.
so I think you're looking at this as me being a watch collector. I don't consider myself a watch collector.
How many watches do you have, Jay?
I have
Do you have
total.
one watch? Do you have one watch for every day of the week?
Yeah,
Then you're a watch collector.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I do buy the next watch, that's probably gonna be at higher end than what I already have,
Yeah.
and most likely at that point, that's gonna be it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I like even my other watch that I bought, even the Rolly that I bought, I knew there's gonna be another watch that I'm gonna buy. Before I even bought the Rolly, I knew there's another one that I'm gonna buy. And the reason I say this is because of this. Look, with the Rolly, I have a nice sports watch, but what I don't have is a nice suit watch.
Mhm.
So once I buy the nice suit watch, that's game over because now I have a watch for each occasion and I don't need to worry about anymore about watches. So the next watch is gonna be something of a higher end, and that's gonna be it for me, most likely. That's like a 99% chance that that's gonna be it. I don't want to say 100% just because nothing is 100%. You know, I don't want to pretend to be God, but that's gonna be it. Now, would I want to have an AP? Yes, but would I buy an AP? Probably no, because I have that Rolly, which is a sports watch. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're gonna buy it if you had the money.
Do you
If
guys
now,
think
if I had the money like that when I'm just like fucking just wasting it, then yeah. But even then, I don't know if I would want to go buy an AP.
Do you guys think that somebody wearing a watch says something about their personality?
No, I think you wear. See, here's the thing: biggest flex, guys. A lot of times, guys will buy a watch to impress women, to show like that hey, this is a status symbol. I got it. Like, so that means I'm at a higher status than most people you talk to. But most of the time, what it ends up being like a bunch of dudes like, oh, bro, nice watch. The ones that understand about it, right? Majority people don't understand shit about watches. It's like buying a Porsche 911. Why do I want to buy a Porsche 911? Is because I think of it as a daily driving fast car, two-door, which I like. This is why. Not to impress Eddie, not to impress you, not to impress a woman, but that's because I want that car.
I'll tell you this much: I've probably complimented over a dozen people on just for the simple fact that they're kind of just wearing a watch.
Yes.
Right. And I've had one dude so far. He was wearing a Tudor day date from the 90s, and that was the first person who was like, "Oh, so you're a watch person," because
Yeah.
he recognized it. Everyone else is like, "Oh, thank you," and like goes about their day. But that instantly most likely tells me they're not a watch person.
Yeah. I had that kind of thing. I was walking around. Some dude was wearing a Tudor, but it was the diver. I was like, nice watch, man. He turns around, looks at mine, goes, yours too. You know what I mean? Like those are, but majority of the time, it's like you gotta get the watch that you like and you wear, and it has to mean something to you, right? That's why for me, I don't think of me as a collector because there are a ton of watches that I like. Like I like the moon watch, I like this Octa Finissimo, I like the Wen, but I would never really go out of my way to buy them because they don't really mean anything to me, you know. But I always wanted GMTs. Majority of my watches are GMTs. There's a meaning behind why I want the GMT, right? And I think my next watch, which I really want, would be a perpetual calendar. I really want a perpetual calendar, but I don't want a cheap perpetual. I want one of the higher end perpetual calendars, which is in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like I have to work myself to that point to get that, you know. So that's why I'm saying it will be it. Like that would be the game over. You
I
know
think
what I
I'll
mean?
buy the FP Jordan Elegante before the Perpet.
I mean, if I could have buy a FP Journe Perpetual, I wouldn't even go the Patek route. I wouldn't even go the Vacheron route. You know, I would get the, you know, the FP Journe Perpetual or any of those FP Journe higher end ones. I would get that.
Yeah, the Elegant or Elegante, whatever is how you pronounce it. That watch is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Or the dual time zone, the FP Journe dual time zone one.
Yeah.
Bro. Like even getting that, forget the Perpetual. You know, Luke Chapard, you know, they go $70,000 perpetual count. But I wouldn't buy this. Do you see what I'm saying? Even though this is a perpetual, I wouldn't get this.
Why?
Because it's Luke Chapard.
What does that mean?
Luke Chapard back in the day, they did good, but now Luke Chapard's watch, again, don't get me wrong, it's a $70,000 watch. It's a great watch. But the DNA, he's flip-flopped a lot. You know what I mean? So the only one that he has that's like kind of still kind of keeps the DNA of Luke is the regular Luke. But you know, this is just they're doing it because there's a market for it. They're not doing it because they were like original people that came up with this.
You know, I'm not a fan of the perpetual calendars. They're all so thick and
They're
usually
thick,
bigger.
they're complicated.
They're usually over 40 millimeters. They're big watches. I think the only one that I would be a fan of is like the Patek one that is minute repeater.
Yeah.
The chime.
Mm-hmm. So that's just a Patek minute repeater. That's not a perpetual calendar.
The one
You
on the right is. That's
you
a perpetual minute repeater.
You know which perpetual calendar is really cool? H. Moser and Sier.
Yeah,
The one that
Moser.
just has one date window, nothing else but a date window. Do Moser and Sier
And they send you.
perpetual perpetual calendar. Just do that. Yeah.
I think this is the brand that sends you the little window for you to change it over time, right?
Yeah, there you go. This is a perpetual calendar, which to me that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy cool.
Yeah, you don't see perpetual calendars.
Yeah, go
look
to
this
this. I
simple.
wonder what's the thickness on this one. Good. Does it say what's the thickness? No, there's some bullshit they give you.
No, it doesn't give you anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but
They're
so
very. It's a luxury watch, so it's kind of hard to find details unless you find it directly from the source.
they'll go down that the very first link. Yeah. So go down in the description.
The diameter.
That's the diameter. What was that? Go back up a little bit up, a little bit up. Right there. What is that? Download user manual. No, we don't need that.
Yeah, it doesn't tell us the thickness.
It doesn't tell us the thickness. Yeah. Which I thought this is a pretty cool watch for being a perpetual calendar. You know what I mean? Because it's just not traditional whatsoever.
It still looks very thin from the picture.
Mm,
Doesn't look anything
yeah.
too thick.
It's also 54,000 CHF, which is basically equivalent to $1. But good luck finding one. Yeah. So
Very expensive.
all right. So go back to the article. All right. So following trends. Yeah, I agree with this 100%. You shouldn't follow any fucking trends.
What about guilloche dials?
Guilloche dial has been there since day one.
Yeah, but it's kind of trending right now. You can even see Citizen with their new Ciosa imitating that pattern of a
Mhm.
dial.
So guilloche dials, like if they're actually hand done guilloche dials, that's the ones that I only consider as the actual guilloche dial.
Right.
Because Citizen and Seiko are known for like having really good equipment and stamping that shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm not big into that. You know,
It looks nice though.
it looks
Those
nice.
Yours does
Yeah.
look nice. Taking the expert's word for it. I've seen this online a lot in the sense where it's almost like in the watch community, some people get different stories around the community. So sometimes you kind of have to take things with a grain of salt, move on, maybe ask for another expert opinion, and figure things out. Because I've seen, for example, on Reddit where these guys will post a watch and they examine it based on their knowledge and opinion, and they kind of say, okay, well, this part of the watch checks out, this part of the watch checks out, this part of okay, oh, so it's probably real, it's from this period of time where they did this and this because of these attributes, but then a more knowledgeable person will go and look at the watch and say, well, that's a complete Frankenstein watch that has parts from different kinds of watches that may be real parts, but that's not an actual like
Correct.
Omega made watch. It was an Omega watch I was looking at. It wasn't actually
Yeah.
ever produced. That reference number was never made. It was a Frankenstein watch. They took parts from other watches and put this together. And so, you kind of have to ask
Yeah. So that's what
accept multiple opinions.
which neither one of us is doing it, which is I think a big mistake. Like the biggest thing is to go
What's
in
up,
there,
Copper?
pick up old watch books and read them. What's up, Copper? And then just read all these old books about the history of watches, how they came around, why they came around, why was this important, who kept their DNA, who didn't keep their DNA, who's just copying, you know what I mean? And at that point, you become a straight up watch snob. So I don't know if I want to go that route and become a watch snob, you know what I mean?
You don't want to know reference numbers and shit,
Nah, fuck that. Overlooking maintenance costs. Yeah, I agree
So-
with this, but Eddie has a point on this.
So I think Jay kind of made this apparent to me when we were talking about when he purchased his first watch, that he actually took into consideration how cheap the Reverso was. But then he figured out that the Reverso was going to cost about half the amount of the watch to get it serviced, basically, because it's a very delicate watch with the dial basically completely turning over on the watch. So you kind of have to be careful with it, which I thought was kind of weird because the watch was meant to be smashed by polo players. So I thought it was kind of weird to hear that it was supposed to be delicate, but it is what it is.
And they kept that. You know what I mean? They kept that since day one. Like the size has gotten bigger because of the market, but
Yeah.
the idea of the watch they kept that. But the one thing they did change is the movement inside it. You know what I mean? So the cheaper ones now, they don't have the original like Jagger's movement anymore. They're subbing out the ETA movements, right? So that's the like a small balance that you kind of
That
have
would be
to,
another boutique I'd like to go see.
yeah. I would
a
wanna see
JLC
that too.
in Vegas.
Being vocally anti Rolex. Yeah, I agree with this because Rolex has a place in the market, and it's by far the largest grossing watch in the world. So that means they're doing something right.
Well, yeah, so you can't fight the numbers, right? Rolex is number one, right? When it
Yeah.
comes to selling watches. But there's only my only thing with Rolex is they're almost so good they fuck themselves in the sense where everyone imitates Rolex's style when it comes to the fucking I mean what is Tudor? Tudor is a brand that literally said I'm going to make cheaper Rolexes. And that's exactly what they
But
did.
what's the greatest form of flattery? Imitation.
Imitation, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But at
that
the- at the-
right there tells me that like
But at the same time, like we talked about the other day, what is one of the biggest thieves of joy? Comparison, right? So I'm one of those people who I like weird shit, not weird shit, unique, right?
well,
like
does it get any more unique than Rolex?
Listen, every watch imitates a Rolex,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
In the sense where now everybody's hand has a wrist on their wrist has something that looks just like yours. May not be a Rolex, it's probably a fucking Invicta, right?
Now you
but
this
you
is
see what
where
I'm saying?
yeah, this is where that comes in where when you do wear a Rolex, somebody that understands Rolex can look at it and say that's a Rolex.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
So and at that point is I'm not wearing this for them. I'm wearing this for me. So if I'm
Yes.
wearing this for me,
So that's for me though. For whatever reason, I like to be the sore thumb. I don't
yeah.
like when I see everyone wearing the same thing. To me, that makes me feel a little less special, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, when I was looking for a car, I mean, I really like the 350Z or G35, whatever all the other car kids at my age were getting. Fucking cheap ass car. It was fast for what you're getting, whatever. but I didn't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, all the kids are getting G35s. Not everybody can afford a Rolex. Now, if you go on Instagram, it looks like the world affords a Rolex, but the world does not.
No. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
You
But I'm
know
just
what I mean?
saying that's the kind of the way I look at it. And also like not to say that there aren't Rolex models that I'm like, wow, that's a really fucking nice watch. I'm a big fan of like a smooth bezel date just, right? A big fan on an Oyster. Like I think that's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Right. Simple, like it's just so
Simple,
simple.
yeah.
And then and it looks so well put together. Like for example, simple things like when you look at someone's bracelet on the watch and there's gaps
Yeah.
between the links, like not to roast toot or nothing, but even here, like I can see it there.
Yeah,
You
there's
won't
gonna
see
be
that on the Rolex.
You do
You
with
don't.
time.
Well,
With
yeah,
you
if
with
it
some-
stretches,
Mhm.
but then there's little things like that, right? That I see with Rolex, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a very well put together watch. Got the heritage, and I like it. It's good. But when it comes to watch brands, they're not even in my
But see,
top five.
here's the thing with the Rolex. Most of the Rolexes you're gonna see are gonna be the Submariner.
Subs and day dates, day just. That's what you see.
Submariner. Then you're probably gonna see day date.
I think day dates are number one.
Yes, day date, subs, and then probably Daytona, and then the other ones.
Daytona, no.
Daytona. Yeah.
You never see dates. I've seen more GMTs.
I don't know. I've seen more Daytonas.
Daytona is one of the hardest. Like when you ask Roman Sharp, he says number one hardest watch to get is a fucking Panda.
Well, yeah. No, I understand that, but whoever has it, they have it. And when they can get their hands on it, they get the Daytona. Because Daytona is considered as like the higher end, you know what I mean?
See, I used to wear an Apple Watch copper, and then my balls dropped. So,
Oh my God.
so you know,
Pew, pew,
things
pew,
happen.
pew, pew.
Things happen, I guess. You know. No,
All
I'm
right,
just
so
kidding.
go-
The Apple Watch is great. It's the number one. It's the best tool watch there is. So
Yeah, you can't
beat it.
You
when
can't
it
beat
comes to
Apple
a
Watch.
tool
Like if you want to talk about the best watch in the world, Apple Watch, hands down.
does everything. I mean,
Like you can't even compete with that, right? Now go back. Let's quickly fly through those things and not spend too much
when
time
you hear
on
guys
this.
like me and Jay talking about watches, it's like we're talking about 1970s fucking El Caminos.
Yes, that's pretty
And
much
so,
it.
like, we know their shit. We
Yeah.
know it's a piece of garbage that's not fucking accurate. You know what I mean? Like, we know that,
Yeah.
but we still, like, cherish it
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Buying watches as investment, I agree with that. This is the dumbest shit you can possibly do. Buying a watch as an investment, which means you're gonna have to put it in a fridge and wait for it to fucking marinate.
Oh, shit.
What do you say?
Yeah, Arthur's asking me to predict 2024 Formula One top 5.
All right, we'll go back to that question. Let's finish
Yeah,
this
for
list real
sure.
quick.
So buying watches as an investment, I think that if you were to tell me, hey man, I want to look into learning how to flip watches, then okay, yeah, that's not a mistake you're making. You're gonna make mistakes. You're probably gonna lose money the first 5 years you're doing it, right? But that's not a bad idea, right? A lot of people make a lot of good money flipping watches.
So you know how I feel about investments, right? I say do that if you already have your ducks in the like if you have your eggs in the other baskets already. Then go to watches. Like I would say buy silver and gold before you even go to watch as a fucking investment.
Yeah, because the thing is it's so weird. Like you can have 2 day dates that are exactly the same. One of them has an olive green dial.
Yeah.
Oh, and now it's worth like 10 grand more.
Yeah.
You
As
know
a
what I
matter of
mean?
fact,
So
to
it's such a
me,
weird thing. You can't just buy a watch and be like, and especially as I think as a collector, you're never buying a watch as an investment.
no. And to me, I think cryptocurrency and watches are right along there. Probably cryptocurrency has a little bit higher in my book than the watches. Like I would never really consider buying a watch as an investment. That would be just like last resort
That's
thing.
what
It's so fucking.
From
It
what I've
depends on
seen,
people.
from what I've seen, that's kind of what collectors tell themselves so that they can kind of justify the purchase.
Buying, yeah.
The purchase.
It's a cope, yeah. It's a cope.
It's a cope most of the time. Not to say that, like I said, a lot of people do make legit money selling watches. Moses and all these 47th Street people, they're there for a fucking reason, making money wearing their
Yeah.
Louis V. You know, so there's definitely money there, but you got to know what you're doing. You can't just go into it and be like, I'm gonna buy 5 fucking day dates and then keep them for 5 years and make a bunch of money. No, that's not how this works. You need to buy the day date and flip it in 5 hours, or else you're losing money.
Yeah, that's true. Go down. Not being willing to pay tuition. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, don't fucking buy a watch if you have to finance it and then pay interest on it. That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing you can possibly do.
Yeah.
Keep going down.
A watch
Skipping
is
the
like your car, man.
skipping the research. Yes, I think this is the biggest part of buying a watch. You know how they have that
This is
thing,
what I told Ozzy.
measure 9 times and cut once. I think you need to approach watches with this.
Yeah.
Even I would say measure 100 times and then measure another 100 before you cut
I
it.
look at watches like my sister told me with tattoos. Think about it, and then if you still want it in a couple years, then consider it.
Yeah.
Then consider it.
Mhm.
Maybe not the same extreme with the watch, but okay. I when I saw the PRX, like boom, I fucking like looked at that watch for over a year. I'm not the one who got it. I also got it as a gift, but still, that watch was something I would legit get. But after researching and looking at it for so long, um, you have to do the same thing, which actually is what I told Ozzy. I told him, man, if you ask me, I think you shouldn't buy a watch. And
Yeah.
not because you can't afford it or position or anything like that. I know you can get whatever watch you want. I think you shouldn't buy a watch because you don't know enough yet. And
Not
you don't
only
know,
you don't
and
know
you
enough.
don't know, and you don't know what you really, really, really like. Your opinion's gonna change like this.
So
once
that
you start
last
looking at
sentence,
the
I think,
watches.
is the most important one out of this whole excerpt. Embrace the chase, because
Yeah,
the chase itself is going to make you fall in love with the watch that you're going to buy, and you're gonna think that's the best thing since sliced bread. You're gonna know there's better slices of bread out there, but you're gonna love your slice of bread, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's very important. Otherwise, every impulse buy I've ever done with watches, they're always flopped. Always. Like everything that I've done for years, waited on it and looked into it, considered all my options, ended up being a really
there's
good.
nothing better than doing all that research and going in, and when you go in to buy it and put it on your wrist for the first time, you already know every single fucking thing about it.
Mhm.
You already know everything about
And
it.
then you start discovering shit that you didn't even see. Like, remember you were
Exactly.
talking about the PRX colors, bro?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even realize, like, under the light, it shimmers differently. Like, the color changes, going from,
Exactly.
like, dark gold to almost to silver
Yeah.
color, like, which is cool. Like, things like that, you're starting to discover shit about your watch, and you, like, fall in love with it every day more and more and
Exactly.
more. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
I think this was a pretty good article,
Yeah,
in
it
my
is.
opinion.
You guys
I
like
like it.
watching shows, like binge watching them, or watching them as they air weekly?
Binge watching. Fuck, man. I hate I hate watching things weekly. You know why? I
'Cause they always
forget.
put a fucking cliffhanger at the end.
No, it's not the cliffhanger thing. I'm not against the cliffhanger. Time will come and you'll get to see it. My problem is being forgetful of things. So to give you my example, recently this happened with me with an anime. So I've been watching Demon Slayer, and when the last season came out, I watched it weekly, right? Every week, every episode came out, and I would watch it on Crunchyroll. And I noticed I was being a lot more forgetful about the story as a whole than when I would just binge watch the whole fucking season.
Yeah.
Versus what
Everything's
happened
just
before.
kind of fresh.
Exactly. Everything's kind of fresh. All the episodes linked together just as one,
Mhm.
So now I'm kind of like, damn, what that happened last week? Fuck.
So for me, podcasts, I'll watch them as they come out. But anytime, any type of a show, for me, those are fillers. If I don't have any podcasts to watch, I'll fill it in with that shit, and it's usually in the background. I don't really pay attention to it. And what happens, instead of me fast forwarding, when I do pay attention, oh, okay, so this is what happened in the past 2-3 episodes. Great.
Mhm.
I watch the recaps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But shows, I don't necessarily like. There's not really a time. Every time I'm watching, so it's usually in the background going while I'm doing some sort of a research, and whatever that is at that time that I'm interested in, I'm rabbit holing on my phone rather than.
See, I've
actually-
always been a movie kind of show person since I was little. Like a lot of my single summers as a kid were spent in my bed watching movies on my laptop. So I really have a profound love for movies. Like I always said that if I built my own house, I would have a theater in it. Like if I
Yeah.
were to design my own house, it would straight up have a theater in it. And now it's gonna have a theater and then a separate game room. But it's
See, you
definitely
know what
gonna
I've
have a theater.
discovered now is that no show and no movie can keep my attention enough because they're all kind of very fucking similar. They're all very similar.
See, that's what I like is shit that's I find the niche. If I find something that I can predict the stuff, because like you're saying, a lot of content is similar and predictable, that's boring for me. I
Mhm.
agree.
It's boring. You
100%.
just don't want to fucking watch it. That's why it's always in the background.
I like, for example, me and Emily watched Rogue One, which is like a Star Wars spin-off movie. It's in the universe, kind of how they blow up the Death Star, right? And spoiler alert, movie's been out long enough. They all fucking die in the end. The whole crew, right? And that's like movies for me. Like fucking just kill like the just fucking spin the whole table, like flip the table on me. And so that's the stuff that I like to watch. And I find that interesting. Most people are pissed. Everybody wants the happy ending. I'm okay with the nitty gritty.
What about you?
I don't know. Uncut Gems was one of those movies.
That's a great example.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really like the ending on that, but then again,
What's the Uncut
You don't
Gem?
like it. You don't. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I like the movie as a
What's the
whole.
Uncut Gem?
Due to it doing
It's
that to my
the-
brain, like
it's
fucking.
Adam Sandler movie. That
It's
was
one of
released on
Adam
Netflix.
Sandler's first
I
drama.
Tells you
vaguely-
how much I
I-
fucking know
I
about movies.
vaguely remember the movie, but I just remember hating the ending.
So Uncut Gems, it's basically Adam Sandler's one of these guys. Basically think of a 47th Street Moses dude,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of a crackhead now, right?
Oh, kind of remember something like that. Like he owed money to someone.
He owes
something.
money to everyone.
Okay.
He owed money
I
to
kind of,
everyone in the
I
movie.
kind of remember. But again, I was watching
Who
that
was
shit
it
like
that
in the
comes
background.
in? Basketball player played for the Celtics.
Was it for the Celtics?
Larry
was it
Bird?
the Spanish guy?
Old or young?
No,
Hold on.
black.
We have the internet, guys.
Oh, we
Uncut
do?
Gems. Yeah. Cast. Boom. Kevin Garnett. That's who it was. Yeah. So he has like Kevin Garnett in the movie come in, and basically there's this opal that he has that's worth a bunch of money. Yeah, you can play the.
I'm not gonna play it.
Don't do it.
I'm just
Don't do it.
playing
We're on
this right
YouTube.
here. I'm just playing this right
You
here. I'm
don't
not
have to
playing it
let
on
them
stream.
see
Okay.
it. Calm down.
Yeah. No, I remember vaguely something about watching this movie. I didn't like. I wasn't
It's pretty
interesting to
good.
me. I didn't even care if he fucking died at the end. or
It's a
whatever
pretty good
happened to him.
movie. This one's like one of those movies that's predictable and then kind of just flips you on your head at the end. You kind of are predicting for it to happen, but I don't
Anyway.
know. Or like I've been into war movies lately. Have you watched Fury?
Fury. Which
The
one
one
is
they were
that?
on the tank.
Yes, I've seen that.
That's a good movie.
hmm That's a good fucking movie. That's a good fucking movie. I like that movie because to me, why I like this movie is because this is what men have to go through to keep us all safe.
What do you
Here
mean,
we
bro?
go
So long
again.
ago.
Bro, what?
This is what men went through to keep us all safe. And this is like this right there. It shows the love that we're talking about, the men's love for his country and for his people. You understand? And a lot of times the society will go and not even fucking pay attention to those losses that we've had. All these men died for us to be happy and protected and sit comfortably here and have a podcast.
That's something that we can talk about.
You know what I mean?
It is crazy that people are willing to give their life for other people.
That's what I'm saying.
That we could talk about.
that's
the
the-
fact that it's just men. No, because there's also plenty of women in the military that are also giving their life.
Well, they're not. Because majority of the time they're in support roles. Majority of the time they have to. They've lowered the military standards for women to be there. So, and a lot of times they're in support roles. They're not really giving up their lives. Like you can look up how many women died in a line of duty, in a military versus men.
It's gonna be a very small amount.
Exactly.
But does that
Because
offset the
women
fact
usually
that-
don't join
Does
infantry.
that offset the fact that they died for other people?
Well, do they though? That's the question.
There's a statistic on it, right?
Well, I'm sure there is, of course. Yeah. In recent wars, how many military women have died in recent wars?
It's gonna be a tough. That's already a tough statistic as it is. Since the attack on America on September 11, 2001, a total of 153 women deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait, and Syria lost their lives in service to America.
Mm-hmm. And majority of those are probably like IADs.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. So 170,000 lives were lost. Out of 170,000 lives, like just the numbers are not there. I don't know this whole idea of women wanting to go to the army. Like, I don't get that. Like, imagine this. Guys naturally have the protector, like the thing in them, right? You see your combat person next to you getting shot, or like you're gonna have to rush there and pull her, right? What if you're the one that's wounded? How is she gonna pull your fucking 200-pound ass out of the fucking fire? How?
I don't know.
I just sandbag myself on top of Emily and she's dead.
That's what I'm trying to say. How is she gonna pull you out? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this whole infantry situation is a little bit dumb, you know? Like, support roles, yeah, definitely go into support roles. Like, but being in an active war environment, I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing you can possibly do. You know what I mean? But again, who am I to say anything, right?
If you could swap lives with a cartoon character, who would it be? For me, it's fucking Tom and Jerry. One of either one.
Yeah.
Why?
Either
Because
one.
those motherfuckers are immortal.
You know who I would swap my the Constantine? I think it's Constantine. The new, not Constantine. The cartoon that Netflix has with like the guy that's killing vampires and like he's got a whip.
Castlevania.
Castlevania, dude. Yeah,
What?
the guy with the guy with a whip, bro.
I've never watched Castlevania. What's it about?
It's pretty good. It gets dark at the very end, like
It's a dark show, I've heard.
third and fourth season get fucking dark. Not this guy. Not these are the protagonist. That guy right there.
Why would you want to be him?
Cause
What is it about him? Is he cool?
you can
Do
you can
like the way...
you can follow his you can follow his like he from coming from like kind of barely understanding how this whole thing works to actually becoming somebody, and like he goes through trials and tribulations, and then the next thing is he goes through a lot of cool stories. You know what I mean? Like his entire life, he's gonna have PTSD for sure, but his life is gonna be full of fucking stories. He's gonna be the guy that's gonna be around the campfire. Everybody's gonna be quiet and gonna listen to him tell stories, right?
Or because they just feel bad.
No, not because they feel bad, because those stories are gonna be interesting as shit. They're gonna live vicariously through this guy's stories. You know what I mean?
I'd be Egg.
Egg?
Egg.
Aang, the
from
airbender.
Aang from Airbender? Okay. I thought yip yip.
Yeah.
Nala yip yip.
So, Arthur's question before I forget. Shit, I don't know, man. You're gonna see Verstappen winning. He's gonna beat all his records again. Fernando Alonso said himself that it's all he saw at the paddock was 19 drivers who think they're not gonna win. So that right there kind of tells you what's going on with Red Bull and all the other teams. So, but top 5, Verstappen, Checo, Lewis, Lando, Fernando. That's probably going to be your top 5.
Yeah, Hamilton's got to be there somewhere, bro.
Yeah, he'll be in there. He'll be in there. But yeah, it's probably going to be Verstappen, Checo, Norris, then Hamilton or Lewis, probably 4th, 5th.
You think Hamilton 4th, 5th?
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
Hamilton is gonna be 2nd, 3rd.
No. Well, especially if
Ferrari's trying to make a run for
especially
it, man.
if he's definitely not probably gonna be 2nd. More than likely not gonna be 2nd. If Checo can fucking not make as many mistakes as he did, which should be pretty easy to do because he made a lot of fucking mistakes. He should be able to hold that 2nd place spot like he did already. We'll see though. We'll see. I want to see Fernando going to Mercedes, filling that seat. They're talking about either, I think it was Mercedes or sorry, not Mercedes, but either Fernando or somebody else maybe looking at that seat for Mercedes. But I don't know. I'd like to see Fernando in a Mercedes. I think he'd fucking kill.
Who's the most underrated?
Underrated?
Mhm.
Shit, I don't know.
Checo probably.
No, Checo's been there a while, makes a lot of mistakes. Underrated? I mean, if you want to look at like
Who has the
top...
chance to beat Verstappen?
Nobody.
But if you were to say, okay, well, this person has a chance if they did everything correct.
Hamilton?
I think all those guys in the top 5, if they were in an equal car, all had chances. Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
Bro, if they were
Verstappen
in
is
equal cars,
savage.
no.
Savage. But man,
Verstappen
the
is
cars,
savage, bro.
The
It's
car's there. Bro, you know why I'm telling you the car's there? The big section of the car? Bro, Checo still made 2nd place.
You're saying because of the car?
Not because of the car only. No, the motherfucker can race. He's a savage too. But he's made 2nd place.
Do you think he's that good because of Verstappen?
No. It's all on his own. All these guys
Like constantly competing with Verstappen. Verstappen pushes him to get there.
When F1 comes
Do you think that's why he's making these mistakes? Because he's trying to keep up with Verstappen?
I mean, I do think that. Now, let me tell you this. I think all those guys have a chance to win in the top 5 if they were in an equal car, which they're not. So this is like a complete hypothetical thing. But then at the same time, if you asked me who would I put my money on if those 5 guys were to be in an equal car and race, I'd still put my money on Verstappen. Yes, I would. Right now, it's just the simple fact that yes, Checo's second, and he won second in the Drivers' Championship, but the motherfucker was 20, 30 plus seconds ahead finishing these races. There's a clip. There's a fucking hilarious clip. Checo's second. Verstappen's got a 20 plus second gap in front of Checo. Norris is behind him. And his pit team got confused and thought that Checo was Verstappen and that he was in second. And so he said, and they told him, "Oh, this is for first. You have a 1.5 second back, right?" The moment he's passing Checo, he's like, "Yeah, let's go, boom!" And they're like, "Oh, sorry, Lando, that was Checo. Verstappen is 20 plus." So basically going, yeah, that you're in second place now, and the guy is 20 seconds ahead of you, which anybody who knows anything about F1,
That's
20, 30
impossible,
seconds
bro.
is a long time.
6 seconds
in
is a long
racing.
time. 20 seconds, fucking forget
If I
it.
got a 5-second gap on you, it's gonna take a little minute to
When
catch
you guys think F1, what's the most memorable moment that comes to mind?
Schumacher's wins.
that.
Hands down, Schumacher's wins.
When you say that, I think of that clip of Fernando Alonso on top of his car dancing when he beat Schumacher. He's fucking, because I see that clip and it said Fernando was doing emotes before anyone knew what an emote was. So,
I still think Schumacher's wins are fucking incredible. Like the way he would pass people, come in from like being the last to the first and just beating them by 20, 30 seconds. Like just fucking crazy driving.
I don't know. I think that I can't think of anything else or that.
Do you think they should start adding more tracks, like more locations?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. So this is the thing: the city, whatever country/city environment they go to, has to be a city of money. You know, there's got to be the money there because
Well, money will
F1 is
come.
not
Money
cheap.
will come.
Money will
Money will come. Money will travel for that.
You need to. That's why do you think these places they're only going to places like fucking Miami and Las Vegas when it comes to the U.S. Right? And fucking
Well, they
Monaco,
did go to
bro, like,
Austin.
money. There's money there.
Yeah,
still.
there's money in
There's
Austin.
money.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to, what I
You
guess,
can't
what I'm,
fucking go to fucking Orlando.
well, no, obviously, because Disney people don't fucking watch races. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is,
Disney people.
money will follow. But here's the thing: even if you add a new track, these guys gonna have practice on this track over and over again in their simulators, right? So adding new tracks is not, it is going to throw a wrench into the tires, but it's still not going to be as much as you think there will.
It still makes it competitive and new. I mean, a lot of
So
just video game updates, for example, League of Legends used to be, or still is, the same game over all these years, but then they update the map, make things a little bit more interesting.
But so here, think about it this way.
You want to hear it
Before they update the map, they give you the walkthrough and they give you time to practice before they update
Ready?
the map. And when they update the map, you get to play the
I
map.
can translate this in gamer words way better. What's more important, new map or buffs and nerfs? Buffs and nerfs are way more
It just
applicable.
it depends, because
Usually I would say buffs and nerfs are way
it
more
comes
important.
to a point where you look at the game and then you compare it to a different game and you're like, holy crap, this is completely outdated. And
Yes,
graphics need
you're
to be
absolutely right.
updated.
But
And you have to make that sacrifice for one patch, 2 patches, whatever, to make sure that that game is up to date.
What I was gonna say is with F1, what they've done is basically rule changes are constantly happening. Even during this season, during this last season, they implemented during the last few races this weird rule that you had to pit a minimum of 3 times. So I started watching like halfway through the last season, and when I was watching the first few races I witnessed guys like George Russell try and pull off single pit races, or even 1 or 2 only. And so these are part of strategy in the sense where, so a lot of times what happens is when these guys pit, they lose 5+ positions, right? Mm-hmm. But the game is everyone has to pit, right? That's kind of the mentality, right? Everyone's tires are going to get wasted a little bit. But then they would play with that. So in the sense where George Russell was running hard tires from in the first half and the second half of the race, hard tires are a harder compound. They're going to last longer, but they don't have as much grip. So he's got to play with that. Or you can run the route of being like Verstappen. I think that race, he was running soft and medium tires, but he had to pit 2 to 3 times minimum. Even some drivers were pitting 4 times during the race because of the tires going out or maybe other reasons, but usually tires, right? They implement these rule changes. Now everyone has to pit 3 times. That fucks with people because it fucks with the strategies. So like I said, usually it's more related to like buffs and nerfs because they changed the rule set and now people have to abide by these new rules and it can fuck with certain strategies depending on your prior movement.
But another thing I don't think they talk enough in F1 is the actual drivers themselves, not their skill, but the shit that they have to go through during that 90-minute race, right? Like their heart rate is at 170 to 180 beats per minute for the 90 minutes straight. Like to give you an
Usually more
idea,
than 90 minutes.
a marathon runner, like the number 1 marathon runner that runs marathons and like finishes them in like 2 hours, that motherfucker's heart rate is at 160 on average. These motherfuckers are at 170 to 180, number 1. Number 2, the amount of G-forces that they're getting, the strongest muscle in their body is their fucking necks.
Yeah.
So these guys literally train their necks with like 25-pound, 50-pound plates.
Bro, 41 kilos.
Yeah,
I've
plates.
seen these guys moving their necks with 41 kilos. That's like 100 pounds.
Yeah, the amount of physical training they have to go through. They don't sweat. The sweat, 3 kilograms of sweat evaporates from their body. Like they get completely like dehydrated. Like the physical, I think this probably, I don't know if anybody has done research on Verstappen.
Pounds.
I don't know if anyone done research on Verstappen. I think Verstappen, the reason he's so good at it is because his body probably can handle these conditions much better than most.
I don't think so. I think these guys all conditioned to that.
See, Arthur is saying Max,
So he just swapped.
Checo, Lewis.
He has the same prediction as me. He swapped Leclerc for Fernando, which I could also see happening. I could definitely see happening.
but he put Lewis as third, which I think that's probably a good
Max,
prediction right there.
Checo, Leclerc, Norris. Yeah, that could definitely possibly happen. But you could also see some swaps happening there. Like I said, Fernando being in the mix and maybe Leclerc or Norris being out. It all depends. You know, these guys are all fucking savages. And then unless your name is Max, then you're just God.
Do you guys think that F1 has an important role in innovating car technology for the future? Such things like making cars
ready?
more
I'll tell you.
efficient and
Ready?
quicker?
F1, what they called their curse system was hybrids before hybrids, in the sense where you're using a battery pack to give you additional power on low end torque, usually, to kind of pick up the slack where a combustion engine is better and worse. So electric has instant torque, really, really good low end. It's basically that vice versa with combustion engines. You have to build up with your torque, with your RPMs, but high end, really powerful.
I wonder what's the difference between sports bikes having, again, a very good high end, but things like my motorcycle, more American style, they have very good torque and very good low end.
So that's all has to do with
the
Top
gearing.
speed.
gearing on the car, on the transmission. You're absolutely right. That's actually one, but a lot actually has to do with the camming of the motor. So whether for example, sport bike, right, revs a lot higher than your bike does, right?
And for F1 engines rev like sport bikes.
Rev
They
even
idle
higher.
at 3,000. They idle at 3,000.
There was years during F1 that those motors idled at 9,000 RPM. Idling 9,000. I don't know the exact spec right now.
Arthur's putting some numbers in there. He's talking about Porsche has DRS, Ferrari has KERS.
Yes.
And then the engines are 50 to 60% efficient, meaning that they use 50 to 60% of the fuel.
The rest is heat.
The rest is heat, yeah, which is really good because an average car is probably like 20% efficient, right? So are they bringing that technology over to, you know how much fucking money it is to create a Kia with that engine?
No. In a simplified way, they are. The technology does translate. into cars nowadays.
All
They even
technology starts as expensive, and eventually they try and make it cheaper.
Yeah.
exactly.
Being able to manufacture it.
What was
Mass
I gonna say?
manufacture.
I think
The
I think
Mercedes won. So they actually Mercedes came out with a car that was the motor and stuff was designed around a Formula One car. Legit.
Mhm.
Check.
I think Corsa races technology translates better into the cars than the F1 does. Because Corsa races, or the ones that they go over the desert, they do test out the new technology, the new shocks, and the newest things they do test out on those cars. And the ones that withstand, they actually will bring it to the market, especially for bikes and SUV
Look at
trucks,
that.
right?
There's the looks like it says Ferrari SF90 has curse, which is like I said that low end. So Porsche has DRS, Ferrari has curse. Yeah, so they all have a bit different terms and stuff like that. So DRS is I can't really explain. It's kind of like similar but not similar at the same time.
But yeah. All right. So let's see what do we got next. We talked about watches and cars enough.
Let's get this over with.
Yeah, let's get this. Your Tango, our trusted relationship advisor, back on the track. Let's see what kind of bullshit they have now for us
Today we
again.
have the 5 most common reasons people get divorced and 5 unusually specific ones.
I'm just gonna give my two opinions, either dog shit or trash.
Lack of commitment is number 1. According to the research, the number 1 people divorce is the lack of commitment. This means that at least one spouse stopped making their marriage a priority, choosing instead to put other responsibilities first.
I don't agree with this. Ugh.
You don't agree with this
Because I think as a dude, you should worry about the outside world. You should concentrate on your business. You should concentrate on your work. When that's all done and taken care of, that's what's gonna ensure you're gonna have the safety and security
at the
for
end
your
of the
family.
day, don't you think that's a lifelong thing though?
Yeah, but see, a lot of times, what happens with the girl? Hey, spend time with me. Don't go to the gym. Let's do this. Let's do that. A lot of times, girls drag you back from your actual mission. You know what I mean? And I
That's weird. You see that? You see it that way, Jay? Because I don't see it that way. But okay.
you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think guys should be concentrated on their mission. When their mission is done, which is their outside world to provide safety and security, then then the rest of the free time is get to be spent with your spouse. Now, I don't think you should jeopardize your work and everything just to create more free time. I think that's very apparent in the beginning. And if she married that person, well, guess what? You didn't marry me to change me. I'm not a fucking Build-A-Bear. This is who I am, and this is who I'm going to continue to be. So, sorry.
So what you're saying is
A little bit of accountability.
it's
That's what I'm
better-
saying.
It's better to be single and to just avoid even getting to the point.
No,
of
no, I'm
divorce.
not saying that, because being single and avoiding that, I think for majority of people, that's not going to work. Majority of people, and I want to say 90% of people, that would not work. Unless you're that top 10%, which has on demand, snap a finger, they got the gauntlet in their hand, they snap a finger and they get what they want. I don't think this is going to work.
Number 2, infidelity. One of the negative outside influences that can lead to a lack of commitment is the second major reason the researchers found couples divorce: infidelity. With 59.6% of individuals and by at least one partner in 88.8% of couples citing infidelity as the cause of their divorce, it's a testament of how painful cheating in a marriage can be. As the study said, overall infidelity was often cited as a critical turning point in a deteriorating relationship. Infidelity is painful and changes both the betrayer and the betrayed. Some couples use infidelity to create stronger relationships and work to overcome their shortcomings. However, other find the betrayal of infidelity and or trying to repair the relationship too agonizing and choose to divorce instead.
See, this is bullshit. Why? Because they don't tell you. Infidelity usually happens in men more often than in women. However, women have been bridging the gap lately within the past couple of years, right? They need to give this statistic. Number 2, when men do commit infidelity, which is about 25% of the married men that do this, they only do it once in their entire lifetime, right? And they'll never do it again. So this is complete horseshit. Now, it also, infidelity is different for men and women, right? So,
Number 3, too much conflict. Over half of the individuals interviewed for the research, 57.7% of individuals and 72.2% of couples, cited too much conflict and arguing as a major reason they divorced. According to the research, participants indicated that conflicts were not generally resolved calmly or effectively, Respondents also reported that such communication problems increase in frequency and intensity throughout their marriages, which at times seem to coincide with lost feelings of positive connections and mutual support.
I think this is for men and women. You should have a little bit of accountability. I think in the beginning you can see whether the person is very conflictive person or like they're very aggressive about something. And if you do decide to couple up with that person and marry them, well, guess what? Tough luck. Accountability. Don't fucking do it.
I like that. You know what? I agree with that.
Yeah, because red flags come out always in the beginning. I'm not a fucking Build-A-Bear. You can't change me.
I don't know about that. I don't think they always come out in the beginning. In the sense where, what if someone goes through a conflicting time where they're kind of just maybe just angry with themselves for a period of time, and that's kind of transferring over, and you're being very annoying and this and that, or looking for fights.
Yeah, but that's
that could
just
be
like you
for
said, that's
that could be for a
temporary,
period.
right?
Exactly, that could be temporary. So you didn't, but you're not going to see it in the beginning, and also that tells you whether you can ride it out or not.
Yeah, that's temporary, right?
Yeah,
So-
no, the temporary one. Yeah.
Yeah, then
absolutely.
if somebody cannot write a temporary, well, here's the thing with relationships. I think everyone gets into a relationship with an idea like, oh my god, I'm gonna have this great life, and this person is gonna be the perfect one for me, a prince, charming prince, or a charming princess, right? We're not perfect, bro. We're not God. Like, it's stupid of you to think that you're God and you can choose the perfect one, or to think that that person is God and they're perfect. All of us have problems. That's why the person you want to marry, piss him off to the point of no return and see if you can deal with that. If you can deal with that, marry them. This is the worst you're ever going to see. If you cannot deal with that, then fucking find the next one.
Poke the bear.
Yeah,
the bear.
definitely poke the fucking bear. See what the worst
I
they can
mean,
bring you.
That is definitely true in a certain
Especially
right.
when it's
this-
hibernation season.
in the sense where when I see people react certain ways, that just gives me future preference.
That's exactly what it
So-
is. That's exactly what it is. And you have to see if you can deal with that.
And that's
And
in
then-
all kinds of relationships.
And then another thing is, in my opinion, men do not change. Whoever you meet there, they don't change. So the women have this thing where they marry men in hopes that he's going to change.
Say
We'll marry women,
adult men.
adult men, yeah,
yes.
in the hopes that they're
Me
going
and
to
Emily
change.
are not the same as 15, 14-year-old Emily.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's what I'm saying. Adult men don't change, right? And women will marry that guy in hopes that the guy is going to change. But men marry girls in hopes that they're never going to change. And the opposite always happens. Men never change and women do. And this, I think, I don't know, I'm not an expert on this, but I think this comes from neuroticism. Women are 60%, have a chance, 60% chance of being neurotic, which means not being happy with something. Now, I'm not saying this is not called for in a relationship. You're going to have things that are going to piss her off, but because they're a little more on an emotional end, not feeling satisfied and constantly pointing out gripe, it's 60% chance versus men at about a 40% chance, right? So women are most likely going to report being unhappy in a relationship, right? So that's what it is, and the point here is that their emotions change on a daily basis, right? Because their body chemically is not the same on a daily basis. So it's a very fine line for a guy to walk. That's why it's very important for you, no matter what she does, to stay very stoic and not show anything. Like, you can't just fall into that fucking hole.
Right, Arthur. Sorry, Jay. Right, Arthur. DRS is when the back wing opens up. So the Formula One cars will open DRS on the straightaways to lighten up the car.
Yeah. All right. Marrying too young. I think that's horseshit. You should marry young. I think that's the biggest fucking.
Marrying
you
too
should.
young. No, I agree with this.
Marrying young with your family involved. Your family should be able to tell you who you should marry because you don't have enough experience. Because when you do grow up, you can get jaded. Number one, you got too much baggage on your head. Like, this is gonna be a fucking disaster, right? Later down the road. And number two, kids,
I totally
right?
disagree with this.
The number
Hoping
two is the
your
kids, right?
Your family to help you find the
Correct.
right person. I
Correct.
don't believe in this. Yeah.
Correct. Because with the amount of 20-year-old experience that you have, you'll never pick the right person. Never.
You're thinking in the perfect parent sense. You know how many parents are like overvaluing their children?
I understand that. But then again, look at Indian community at 1% divorce rate. Why? Because their families are involved in picking their partners.
Into marriage?
Huh?
Because they're forced into marriage.
And they're probably scared.
They're not
to ever
forced into
divorce.
marriage. You need to understand that you're not going to pick the correct match for you. You're not, because your wants and needs are totally two different things.
The thing about this is that people can use you as a bargaining chip in a sense, and I don't personally
Well, see
like
here,
that.
and I think this is
Arranged marriages, although may seem like it's for the good of you, it's more for, oh, this is gonna bring me connections, riches, etc.
you're thinking about the arranged marriages that the fucking Western world thinks about, because arranged marriages are not what you think. It's not just this one person you get to marry that, right? It's usually a choice of between 5 to 10 people. We've picked these 5 to 10 people, go out on a date, see which one you like. They're all good in our eyes, but which one you're going to click with. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not just this one person, you get to marry this one, or else we're chopping your head off. No.
So Tinder dating, but closer.
Tinder dating, where your family basically
Gives you
manages
the
your
matches,
account.
gives you the
They
matches.
manage your account. They go on the first days. They get to know about everything about this person, and then they say, okay, well, we approve this one. We approve this one. Not so much this one. This one. This one. This one. And now you have a choice. Which one?
I don't
Which
know.
one do you want to go out with?
I personally prefer 100% freedom of choosing.
Yeah, but that
being-
doesn't work. We've proven that with Western world with 50% divorce
I
rate.
don't know.
That does not
it's,
work.
It's just.
Well, you can't just say it doesn't
it's
work.
just
It
something-
doesn't work.
It's just something I'm confident in.
It's
I'm
how
not-
the
I'm-
world works.
I don't trust.
No, that's
other
not how the
people
world
to
works.
make
That's how
decisions
Western world
for me.
works.
That's
Huh?
all it is. I don't trust other people to make decisions for me.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, you can. Here's the thing. Yes, I agree if the person knows less than you, but there's people out there that know more than you.
But
And
then there's
those
also
people will be
people that you think know more than you, and then it
Yeah,
turns
bro.
out that they do not.
People that are older than you have some more experience, and they're not idiots. They know more than you 100%. I promise you that. They do. They do. Whether you like it or not, they do more. They have more experience. They have more life lessons that they've
See,
learned.
this is my thing, Jay. You want to look at it as have more experience, but I'm looking at someone what I would call the definition of an insane, doing the same fucking thing and looking for a different outcome.
What are you talking about? That's exactly what modern day dating is. Doing the same fucking thing, expecting a different outcome. That's why you have a 50% divorce rate. Exactly. Thanks for proving my point.
All right, I'm not even gonna continue with this. This is how it's
Number
gonna go.
5. Financial problems. Of the study participants who reported that financial problems
Yes, I agree
were
with
a
this.
major contributor
100%.
to divorce, 36.7% of individuals and at least one partner from 55.6% of couples. Many said it wasn't the main reason. Instead, the financial difficulties added stress and tension to the relationship. Interesting, other participants stated that their financial
agree with this.
problems were due to other issues like health problems, substance abuse, and infidelity.
Yeah, I agree with this.
So
100%.
mismanagement of funds.
Yes. I think money, like literally not having enough money would ruin a family. For sure.
100%. It can cause so much stress, depression, anxiety, a lot.
Yeah. So I agree with this one. All the other points were complete horseshit.
All right. What are 10 places you're most likely to catch the flu?
So since flu been running around, I figured it's a good article to see what are some of the places to avoid during the flu season, guys, so you can stay healthy and not get the next beer bug, right? Public transportation. I do agree, even though in our area we don't have much of a public transportation. So
we do, but it's fucking complete garbage and nobody uses it.
yeah, nobody cares about it.
A lot of people use the bus.
They do.
More
They
than
do.
you know.
Schools and daycares. I agree with this because those kids eat their boogers and they share boogers and they. I agree with that.
My friend Calvin tells me that that he said basically like he used to never get sick and then he had kids.
Office and workplace. I agree.
Hospitals and clinics.
This is surprisingly different because you think hospitals you should like be healthy, but you guys have heard of MRSA. MRSA is methicillin resistant staphylococcus aureus, right? Staphylococcus
Okay.
aureus is a
MERCA.
MRSA.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Staphylococcus aureus, it's a bacterial infection that they would cure in hospitals with methicillin. And then overprescription, not taking enough of it, blah blah blah, created a new wave of Staphylococcus aureus that's resistant to methicillin. And now the newest thing is Versa, which is vancomycin resistant Staphylococcus aureus, because MRSA was they were only able to cure MRSA with vancomycin, and now they have strains that are resistant to vancomycin. So hospitals actually create superbugs. That's even how clean they are and things, they create superbugs. And another thing is, which
I've always, as a kid, been kept away from going to the hospital unless it's completely needed.
yeah, back in the day, they had even this practice. If you went to a funeral, the practice was you need to take a shower right afterwards. And till a long time, I couldn't understand why. But then when I started going into microbiology, I got it. It's like back in the day, they didn't have the cleanliness and things like that. So that body could have bacteria in it that you would possibly conduct, and then shower would clean you and wash you off that bacteria. And if you didn't do that, you could get sick.
Imagine back then, like when the Black Plague was around.
Yeah.
Just people went to this person's funeral
And then
they
just everybody
dropped
dead
the next day.
Yeah, everyone dead. So yeah, so hospitals are, that's the unfortunate side effect.
Shopping centers and malls.
Yeah, I can see that. Gyms, yeah.
Fitness centers and gyms. Restaurants and cafes.
Yep.
Airports and airplanes.
That's probably like the biggest thing. This is like an incubator of shit.
And it travels.
Yeah.
Nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Community events and gatherings.
Yep. So basically, stay your ass at home.
What do you guys think about nursing homes and assisted living facilities? Would you guys ever consider joining one?
Becoming part of it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, eventually, none of our kids are gonna watch us. They're in a fucking individualistic Western world, right? So they're not gonna take care of us. So you better have some insurance. They're gonna be able to live somewhere where somebody's gonna be able to take care of you. So you have to. It's just the way it is in a Western world.
Yeah. I guess the dream would be to not end at a nursing home and actually just have somebody come over to your crib. Have enough money to be able to afford that.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing, right? Like whether they're coming. So my point is that your kids are not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So someone else has to do it when you get older, right? And the thing is, with our individualistic society, where if you're 18, you better move out of the fucking home. Like, how are you gonna build that family bond that builds over the years, right? Like you can't, you just don't. So yeah, bottom line is stay your ass at home if you're sick. This way you're not getting everyone sick, and if the flu is running rampant, you probably want to limit amount of places you visit. Just
speaking of that, we're going on vacation.
Yeah, Vegas.
That's gonna be fun.
All right, what do you got next?
No episode for next week, but we'll keep back at it when we come back. And my next question to you guys is, if you could change your name, what would you change it to? I personally would change it to my middle name because I really like it.
I wouldn't change my name.
No?
Mm-mm.
You wouldn't change it to nothing?
Nope. That's a fucking unique name. There's not a lot of people that have the same name. Why would I change it?
Jay.
That's my American name.
Yeah.
That's my American name.
That's my American name.
Yeah. Make it pointy.
I don't think I'll change my name.
I think my parents did pretty well giving me this name.
Yeah. I like Alejandro. Miguel is unique, but Alejandro I like.
I got a video for you on Instagram.
No, you're going to send me some fucking sus ass shit.
Yes, it is.
One of those trans bitches talking about Alejandro.
Yeah, Alejandro, te busco, Alejandro.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Return to me, Alejandro.
I don't think I'd change my name. No, I don't find names like it's not important to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't look at it that way. Now, Emily pitched me some dumbass name today, and I was for sure like, no.
What did she say?
I don't.
She want to change her name to it or to what?
No,
for kids.
Yeah.
What did she say?
Something Elias. I don't know, but it was just
Elias.
Yeah, something Elias. But I don't know, man. Not good. Maybe if she's watching, she can put it in the chat.
Name it after a TV show character or some shit.
After some Greek person.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
Poseidon. That'd be kind of cool. Name your kid some fucking Zeus.
Can you imagine if I named my kid Zeus just like my brother's dog?
That'd That'd be funny.
That would be hilarious.
But it's funny. I actually I met someone I think that was named Nala, and I caught myself saying like, "Oh, that's my dog's name," and then realizing like that was kind of fucked up.
Yeah. You should have said it.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that, but it's okay. What? And I think I think I actually ended up saying like, "What? It's okay. I like my dogs."
Yeah. Oh shit. Go to the next article. Go to the next one. Oh yeah. So all right. So, what would you rather?
Oh shit.
Yeah. What would you rather
asked him these
have? A
questions one day,
vegan
too.
son or an OnlyFans daughter? Before we play the video, I want to get your opinions on this.
Vegan son or OnlyFans daughter?
Damn. So either they're gonna have an unhealthy mentality or an unhealthy body, because vegan diets are almost always like, from what I've seen, a lot of the stuff that they make for vegans is like
Very
really,
bad.
really, really bad for you.
Mhm.
So I guess you probably could have a vegan diet that's relatively healthy, but it'd be very hard, right? Like most of the vegan shit out there is fucking horrible.
I can't
for
believe you still guys considering the answer. Like
I
the
was
choice
letting
is
him
not
talk.
clear to you. Oh, okay.
I'm trying to let him. I'm not trying to.
I'm just throwing out the
cut
stuff
over.
there. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't
What
know.
would you
I'd-
pick?
Vegan son.
Yeah. What about you?
He could end up gay.
Still, dude.
OnlyFans daughter could at least take you to some fucking trips, you know?
So you picking the OnlyFans daughter?
Honestly, fuck it. It is
Nah,
what it is.
vegan son, bro. Fuck
Vegan
that,
son?
vegan son. Not even a question about it. I didn't even
What
think
if
about
what
it.
if OnlyFans daughter buys you a mansion?
I don't
in
give
the
a
Porsche
shit what she
911?
buys me. No, vegan son.
Porsche
Veg-
911.
I don't give a fuck. I'll buy myself.
The Porsche
I'll go.
911?
I'll go to my grave dreaming about a Porsche, never having been inside it, driven it. Fucking still would not want an OnlyFans daughter.
All right, well, we can wrap it up.
Vegan son for sure.
That's fine. My head is fucking killing me today.
Yeah. Anyway, guys. And if the son goes gay, he goes gay. You know, it is what it is. You know, that's his life.
Vitality, guys. Fucking my eye. Pollen season.
By the
go
way,
to
there's-
Vitality, and it helps you out with your allergies because you can go in that salt room and get yourself cleared out and stuff. Locations on Park Street, 4th Street, guys. Make sure to get yourself right.
But by the way, there is some cool news that came through the pipeline. Florida UFC gym is officially the first one to bridge the gap between gyms as a workout and professional fighting. Like a big gym
Yeah.
that's bridging the gap. It's not specifically designed for that, but they're the worst one. And Vitality is involved with this. This is the first gym that's going to try and is going to do the bridge the gap and bring in new unfound talent. They've recruited a bunch of great coaches, like top tier level professional fighter coaches
Yeah.
that are going to be there, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen, guys. UFC gym coming to Largo very, very soon. If you're not there, you're square. You know, like this is going to be the best gym you'll ever go to, right? You're going to have the choice of whether you want to just work out, lift weights, or become a professional fighter. Whether your kid just lifts weights or becomes a professional fighter, or if you want to be somebody in between and learn how to understand how to defend yourself and your family. This is the best thing, I think, in all of gyms. And no one offers this. No one offers this.
I'm
and you're
very
going to get
excited.
it.
I'm very, 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 very excited.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Episode